Hello everyone, welcome to one more video. If you're new here, my name is Betty, and every week I share videos about Istanbul. For example, its culture, food, places to visit, hidden gems, and much more. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to invite you to smash that subscribe button. That way you can discover with us this marvelous city. So let's start with our new video. Many of you are still wondering what are the best options to go to the city center in Istanbul, especially to Taksim and Sultanahmet, where the majority of tourists are finding accommodation. In this video, we are going to be explaining you what are those options so you can find the best and the most suitable for you. Before explaining the different ways, I would love to clarify the current situation with the airports in the city. And at the moment, there are two active airports in Istanbul. The first one is in the European side and is called Istanbul New Airport, with abbreviations as IST or East. And the second one is on the Asian side and is called Sabiha Gökçen, with abbreviations as SAW or SAW. And both of these airports are quite far from the most touristic areas such as Taksim or Sultanahmet. So now that the situation with the airports has been clarified, it's time to explain one by one what are your best and most convenient ways to go from the airport to the city center and vice versa. If you're landing at the Istanbul New Airport, then the most convenient and affordable way for you will be taking a bus with the HAVAIST bus company. These ones you will find them in the -2 level in the terminal, and you will find many buses going to different directions within Istanbul. Let's imagine that you're going to Sultanahmet area. In this case, you have to look for the route going to Beyazıt Meydan. This one is just outside the Grand Bazaar and basically just a couple of minutes away from Sultanahmet Square. If you want to check about the timetables and the routes available for the HAVAIST, then we will be leaving the official link in the description box. For paying this HAVAIST, there are different payment methods, which is really good because sometimes we don't have, some cash with us and instead we have a card. So also this information will be useful. The first one is that we can already pay with a debit or credit card in the vehicle. Secondly, we can pay in cash in any ticket stands that we can find in the points where you will take this bus. And the other one is that also you can do it online, either through the app or through the official website. Depending on the route you are taking, it will be the cost. This time I will only mention the most frequented one by the tourists. For example, let's say Taksim. If you're going to Taksim, it will cost you only 30 Turkish liras per person. If you're going to Beyazıt Meydan, which is the station close to Sultanahmet, you will also pay 30 Turkish liras. Or if you're going to Kadıköy on the Asian side of the city, you will pay 32 Turkish liras. Now, you need to take into consideration that the airport is not close to any of these points. So depending if you're going to Taksim, Sultanahmet or Kadıköy, it will take between 1 hour to even 2 hours depending on the traffic. Also, if you're traveling with children under 6 years old, you need to know that you don't have to pay the ticket for them. As well, if you're traveling with a lot of luggage, you need to know that also the limit will be 2 luggages up to 30 kilograms. If you want to go to the airport, now you just have to look for the place where it dropped you off the first time. So if you're staying in Sultanahmet and you want to go to the airport, just go to Beyazıt Meydan, close to the Grand Bazaar, take it there, and it will take you directly to the airport. If you're arriving to the Sabiha Gökçen airport on the Asian side of Istanbul, you can also take a bus similar to the HAVAIST, but this one is called HAVABUS. These are very easy to find. You just have to go outside the terminal, cross the street, and you will find them there. But for this HAVABUS, the only place that will take you on the European side will be Taksim, no Sultanahmet. So if you are staying in Sultanahmet area, then you have to take this HAVABUS going to Taksim Square. And from there, you have to find your way to Sultanahmet area. The other two available stops are on the Asian side of the city. This one is in Kadıköy Port or Yeni Sahra. To Taksim Square, it only costs 24 liras, and to Kadıköy, 18 liras. And also, just as the Istanbul New Airport, depending on the place, it will take from 1 hour to 1.5 hours to arrive to the places, depending on traffic, of course. Here, the payment is in cash in the vehicle or with credit or debit card in the stands. The last option and least convenient, especially if we speak about cost, is of course taking a taxi from the airport. And I will mention this because also many people are traveling with a lot of luggage, or if you're someone who just loves traveling more comfortable in a private car and also your wallet can afford it, then just take a taxi. You can find them at all times outside the terminals, and the rate per taxi might cost from the airport to your accommodation. Let's imagine Sultanahmet Square. It might cost between 250 liras up to 350 liras. It all depends the type of car, probably the time, and the distance where it will take you. When it comes to taking a taxi from your accommodation to the airports, please avoid doing it on the streets on your own. Really don't do it unless you really want to get ripped off from your wallet. I will recommend you these other apps that you can use and that us as residents we use here in Istanbul. And this one, the first one is called Taxi, and you can use it. You can see even the rate and how much approximately they will be charging for that route. And the other one is Uber. And yes, we are so happy because finally Uber is back in Istanbul. It got activated again just a couple of weeks ago, but the only problem is that it's still working with yellow and blue taxis. It won't give the service as in other countries like the USA or any other European country, but well, the good thing is that the app started working once again. So you can get them from Taxi or Uber. It will cost you about the same rate as well. And just as a little tip from my part, I would recommend you not paying in cash in the taxi, because a well-known scam going on in Istanbul is that to those paying in cash, the taxi driver is giving them the change with fake bills. So if you don't want that happening to you, just avoid paying in cash and just use your credit or debit cards. Now that you know what are the best ways of going from the airport to the city center, now you can choose the most suitable and convenient one for you. In my case, I have used many times the HAVAIST from the new Istanbul airport to my house, the times that I have traveled abroad. And I must say that I'm very happy with that service. The buses are comfortable, but the best part of it is that it only costs less than $5. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and if you want to keep receiving more tips and recommendations about Turkey and Istanbul, don't forget to click the subscribe button. See you next time. Bye bye.